Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back again to the Mortgage Mindset Podcast hosted by Loan Factory. My name is Rafael Acosta. I am a Loan Factory advocate. I am a corporate coach. I am a loan officer. And I am here today with Antonio Cordero. I'm super excited about having him on the podcast. Since I started with Loan Factory, his name has come up left and right. And believe me, we're on opposite ends of the country. He's in California, I'm in Florida. So the fact that his name continues to pop up in positive lights really gave me curiosity to talk to him and pick his brain. So, Antonio, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today, bud.
Hey man, well, Rafael, thank you for having me. The check's on its way. No worries. Thanks for the nice intro. But hey, man, it's a pleasure. It's great to talk to you. I've heard great
Okay.
things about you.
Great, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is a super exciting opportunity. I know you're super busy. The fact that you're taking some time away to kind of chat with me it means a lot to me. It really does. If you don't mind, man, I kind of want to learn a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about who you are, what area of the country you're from, how you got into mortgages, and just kind of give me a background.
So, I'm in Northern California. I'm in a city called Livermore, California, wine country, as some people would say. But, been living out here since I was 9 months old. Lived in different cities like San Francisco, Livermore, Fremont, Brentwood, San Ramon, just out here in the Bay Area. And Livermore's home. So I've been here for a long time. I was born in Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico. I'm bilingual in Spanish. So being able to speak two languages has been a big help. But I'm from out here. I pretty much have been a Bay Area boy since I was a little kid, man. Uh, I grew up in the East Bay pretty much most of the time. And, I went to college out here in, the Bay Area, got my degree, my undergrad. Was a business major, kind of goes in line with, with what we do. On top of it, I've worked in tech in Silicon Valley and San Jose for Cisco Systems. That's where I started off my career right after college. Then I went on to work at Univision, largest Hispanic broadcaster in the country. And then after that, I got recruited away to go work at Telemundo and NBC. And I did that for almost 12 and a half years. Mind you, those first three jobs that I have, I never even applied. People just wanted me and got me. And I'm very blessed to be able to have that opportunity. Cisco was just tutoring someone in calculus. She ended up hiring me and giving me a job, my first job out of college. Didn't even have to wait to get hired. So very lucky there. And then I got recruited away by Univision, and then so on. Same thing with Telemundo and NBC.
Wow. Wow. You
And
know
here I
what?
am today doing schlepping loans.
Yes, man. Just the little bit that I know about you, I can tell that your energy is just positive, and I'll put money on the fact that your positivity is what attracts these people to open doors for you. So it's something that I can see from where I'm standing, and I'm on the other side of the country, so it's prevalent. It really is.
Well, I can tell you is no one likes a negative Nancy, right? People want people who they want to be kind of have a relationship with, a friendship with, a kinship. It could be business or it could be beginning of a friendship. So when you're looking at clients, always think about it. Who do they want to deal with? Someone super serious. And there's time and place for it, right? There's times you have to be serious, but generally people want people who are happy. No one wants to be dealing with someone who's in a bad mood. They may be in a bad mood, but you want to try to put them in a better mindset. And so really my idea is try to treat people the way I want to be treated.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I agree with that. There's something to the saying that people do business with people they like, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think one thing that a lot of people make the mistake of is trying to assume that just because you have a great product, that people are just going to automatically work with you. Well, a lot of people have great products, right? There's a lot of great lenders out there, different companies. I give respect to a lot of the people who are in our industry and still surviving. And the fact is, always put yourself in the client's shoe. You know, they're not just shopping the rate, they're morally looking for a business partner in this endeavor. Whether you're buying a home, refinancing, they want to know you're going to take care of them. And also, too, is how you word things, how you bring it up to them. If people can get that confidence from you that you're going to take care of them and that, hey, Antonio right here is going to show me the way and will answer my questions, whether it be good or bad, or no questions too dumb, you know? Information is power. So if you can give them the knowledge, they'll always stick with you. And you always want them to refer you to friends. I have clients who've referred me 10 times and we've closed 10 deals from that one client. And so part of it is build lifetime friendships. And also, too, people who trust you, who'll come to you first, just even for information. And if you make yourself available every once in a while when you have time, make calls, just call your friends who have been your clients, show appreciation. It goes a long way in this business.
That's that's 100% true. I believe wholeheartedly this is a relationship business, and I built my business belly to belly. You know, no social media at the time, no nothing. 25 years ago, that didn't exist. So I agree, belly to belly is how I built my business. So when it comes to relationship buildings, like, to give me a little bit about what is your go-to technique to build those relationships? Are you networking? Are you just talking to realtors? Are you talking to anybody and everybody at the grocery store? Like, tell me a little bit about how you're generating your business nowadays.
Right now, a lot of it, knock on wood, is coming from referral. A lot of it because I built it up. But when I first started in the business, my background's in TV and marketing. So one of the big things I wanted to do was I wanted to make an impact, whether it be through social media, whether it be through TV, whether it be through radio, whether it be on a shopping cart. I did all the things that you normally don't see a bunch of lenders do. So I had a half hour infomercial, I had a 30-second commercial spot. I was in movie theaters. My ad was playing there. I had a little video, 15-second. Was on back of receipts. I even was doing interviews on the radio. The other thing too, I was doing videos, doing all kinds of giveaways. I was just doing all kinds of stuff. Before it was like a big deal. I probably would have done really well now with TikTok and stuff, but some of the stuff I did was kind of like really over the top. I was giving away limos, all kinds of stuff for like a day. And really, honestly, I was just trying to make it fun, man. My big thing was giving away gift cards and before people were doing stuff like that. And really what I wanted to do is make lending fun because it's not like a fun business like TV, right? You're dealing with something that's the most important purchase for someone. So you wouldn't necessarily call it a fun outing, right? It's more of a thing where you have to do it. But so what I did to build my business was build engagement. So whether someone knew me or not, by the time they called Antonio, they called me and said, "Hey, saw your video. Hey, I saw your post. I want to work with you." So I already had them thinking they knew me. And I wanted my personality to come out and shine, whether it be over the top or I'm just being simple that day. But generally it was just over the top, man. Just really kind of showing people my passion, my energy, kind of showing this could be fun. And I want to work with that guy because this guy is going to be positive. He's also going to be a little outlandish and he's just going to have a good time. And you know what? Learning, working in the different industries I have, one of the things I've learned is you're building relationships with everybody, whether it be the assistant, whether it be the president, whether you're dealing with the home buyer, you know, or someone who's just wanting information. So nothing's different whether you're a servicer or you're a provider. We're all really salesmen at heart. We may not know it. We may not be directly asking for the sale. And it's not like we're really selling. We're helping. We're helping people get into a home. We're doing them a service. We're trying to make the process as easy as possible. And if we can do that, that's how you get your clients to come back. That's how you build engagement. That's how you get referrals. And one of the things I've always done is whether it be talking to realtors, you always got to remember you got to keep your purchase business alive because even if refis are booming, you still need that. Or else later on, you're just going to be a refi person. And when the refis die out, you're done. So you have to be willing to invent yourself. You know, it's like any industry, there's always competition. How do you separate yourself? But there's plenty of business for everybody. But you have to be smart about how you go about it. You have to create engagement. You have to give people a reason to say, hey, I'm going to use Rafael or I'm going to use Antonio. But give them a reason to use you, whether it be through social media, whether it be through marketing, whether it be through a flyer, you know, give people a reason. And also always, you know, make yourself the knowledge person. So, like, if you want information, someone saying, "Hey, I've been thinking about buying a house," it's not like necessarily you're going to say, "Hey, buy a house." Just say, "Hey, if you ever want information to see if this is the right choice for you, give me a call. Give them your business card." Guerrilla marketing works great too. It's not all just about social media, it's about multiple platforms that you could use yourself.
Awesome. Wow. Those are some amazing gold nuggets you just shared, man. I mean, those are really deep. And correct me if I'm wrong. You've been in the business how long? 5, 6 years, I think?
About 7 years, man, since
About
May 2018.
wow. So that's
You know,
that's awesome.
I've worked in mortgage banks. My first time being a broker is at Loan Factory, being
Wow.
on the broker side. Completely different from being on the mortgage banking side, correspondent, as some people would say. Here, we're kinda like a hybrid. We got the broker option, we got the correspondent option. So, it's been a great change, man. Sometimes you have to evolve with the business. The business will continue to evolve. You just never know what the right place will be. So you always have to be trying to better yourself. And at this point, Loan Factory's been great to be able to better myself, to better my skills, to know about more products. And I think that's the big thing about being on this broker side. You have to know the different products. You have to be a non QM expert. You got to know how to do the basics because I feel like anybody can go to someone just wanting to refi W-2 or basic tax return that shows income. The reality is, how can you help them when you have to pivot and pick a different platform or different product?
Yep, yep. So who is responsible for planting the seed about you making the career shift from where you were to banking and to mortgages? Like, how did that come about?
Well, if I'm being realistic, I've always done really well in sales when I worked in TV. I did well in tech, but it was different. I was more on the service side there. But when I was in sales, whether it be Telemundo, NBC, or Univision, the one thing I really learned is I'm working for a corporation, right? And a traditional corporation. It's awesome, it's exciting, it's glitz and glamour, right? But at the end of the day, your income is kind of capped. You can't go any further at some point. So even if I'm breaking sales goals, records, and then also moving up in the ladder, it's such a small industry and so many people want to get into it that, it's even just hard to get a management job. And I've been in management roles too, but generally where I made the most money is being in sales. But it got to a point where you were going to be capped and getting the higher level positions, no matter how well I did. I kind of felt like I was stuck. And I've always had this dream that I wanted to be in real estate and loans. I didn't know what I wanted to do between the two, but I knew that I had this thing where I wanted to take a chance. I want to be more like an entrepreneur. And I think even if you're working for a company, it's kind of like your own business. And that's the one thing I liked about it. You're not capped. You can make more money here than anywhere else. But obviously, there's a lot of people who are struggling. So I understand that. It's not for everybody. You definitely got to have some hustle, got to have some determination. You got to be smart. You also got to be able to pivot. And that's one of the things about good loan officers. They'll give you the bad news before they give you the good news because anybody can give good news. And bad news is if you give it right away, the listing agent and the buyer's agent are more willing to listen to you because you're being straight up right away instead of waiting till last minute. Oh, I can't do your loan, or hey, we need more time. Let them know right away so they know it's going to take more time. Are you willing to wait? That way, you're not in danger of putting the client in harm's way. So I always found that was the best way to do this is give the bad news because the bad news kind of gives a breath of fresh air to everybody because they understand where you're at that moment in the process. So I think more importantly in this industry, you just got to always be evolving, got to always be striving to do better. And just like I mentioned, it's not a big disconnect from working in TV. It's just the opportunity to grow is more available over here. I'll give you an example. I could be the top salesperson at a TV station for 12 years, and which generally that was pretty much me. And there was a couple times I held some management roles, but the reality to get to the level I wanted to get to was so much harder. Here, you become a top lender, people want to give you management roles. And that's the biggest difference. So the opportunity to make more money, the opportunity to help more people, and also too to be able first time home buyers and everything and still make more money and at the same time helping people get great, product, which is like a loan factory, for example, we're known for really good rates. We're known for our technology. So, and also too, our great slogan, we dare you to compare. So I think really it's not, I think part of it is making that leap. Not everybody can make the leap. And leaving TV is hard, but coming to loans, no one's gonna say, "Hey, I want to go into your office in loans," right? Mind you, I'm working from home, but no one wants to come here. But when it comes to TV, people wanted to go. But the reality is, I can help so many more people here. I could drive more revenue. I'm not capped. And guess what? I can help as many people as I'm physically able to.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome. Yeah, this business is definitely something that you have to be flexible, like you said, and I agree 100% because the only thing constant in this business is change. Like you, I came from the mortgage banker side most recently, right? And I decided to go broker with Loan Factory because I felt in this market I wasn't able to really compete, right? I felt like there was a glass ceiling over my head and I can only compete to a certain degree, and I never felt confident that I was going to 100% win the deal because I knew that somebody else was out there like a broker, like a loan factory that could beat me. And that was one of my main motivating factors to go over to the broker side and join Loan Factory. When you decided to do the jump to Loan Factory, what were probably one of the primary or secondary things that you decided, hey, this is the best fit for me and my business? What were those things?
So it wasn't necessarily switching to broker. It was just the first time I talked to my friends and my clientele, my social network. And when they come to me, ask me information that they used to, because I already had a lot of clientele at this point. But the market was changing. One of the banks I was at, the products went up higher. There was nothing you could do because at that point we didn't know what was going to happen to the mortgage market. There was a lot of uncertainty late 2022, middle 2022. There were some banks going out of business. So I had to make a decision, right? I'm at a bank that's stable, but we don't have the best pricing. And I almost felt guilty. And I would tell people, and I got to the point where sometimes I just have to tell people, hey, I may not be the right fit. Cause you would see it in their face, a little disappointed. And honestly, you don't want to disappoint your friends, just like you don't want to disappoint your customers. You don't want to disappoint the leads, the borrowers, everybody there. You want to make sure. And even when you would your escrow officers would see the rate, it wasn't always the best. And this business is not about rate, it's about helping people, right? But when you're so far apart and there's a lot of options out there, it's really difficult when you know someone so well and you want them to continuously use you throughout the time you're a lender or mortgage broker. So I just decided it was time to make a change. It was time for me to look in the broker world. I wanted to have more options. The mortgage market had changed. Back in 2021, everybody had good rates, right? Who cares if we got 2.5 or 3%? People were getting a great rate. They were helping themselves. So that's where we pivoted.
Interesting. Wow. So how did you come across Loan Factory?
Ironically, I got a call from a lot of brokers. Just a bunch of them just kept calling me, trying to get me. You could only imagine the names, right? All of them were just calling, right? And there was a lot of great options, but something told me I had to do more research on my own. So first, instead of just making a move right away, I worked for a couple months, maybe almost 6 months, just almost interviewing brokers and trying to find brokers I hadn't heard from that I maybe trying to grow. So when I called Loan Factory, I saw that the top number one guy in the country was at Loan Factory, and he ended up being the broker owner. And I called the guy at the cell phone, just looked him up. There might have been 100 people when I first started talking to him, maybe a little less. By the time I joined, I talked to him for about 4 or 5 months before I even made the decision. But I was very impressed because he was an immigrant, worked hard, he struggled to do better. And that really impressed me. And the fact that he was number one in the nation even spoke more to the story because that we must have a good product. You can't be number one without at least having a decent product. You can be great and still be good, but I don't know if you can be number one with bad product, right? Just can't. Now, you could be good because you're great, right? But to get to the level that I feel like some people have gotten at Loan Factory, you have to do that. And so that was the determining factor, is talking to someone who I thought was pretty humble, and also someone that I felt like could maybe teach me a different way of doing it. I think one of the biggest things we've tried to do is I've tried to cut my conversations down a little more, maybe not take 45-minute calls, an hour call with the client. Try to shorten it down. Try to be more clear and concise. Try to make 10-minute conversations instead of long-winded conversations where, you keep talking. You want to try to help as many people as possible. And there's a time and a place to go hang out with the client after you close or something. But I felt like that was the key. And when I saw that from Loan Factory, that's what made me go there, was because the technology. They had a lot of great things going on. They weren't even charging a tech fee at the time, just a lot of stuff. And there was only like 150, 175 people when I joined. And guess what? Now we're over 2,000 loan officers. I don't even know the exact number. So
Hmm.
that's pretty impressive in it, to say the least, right? And the other thing too is when I came here, I checked the pricing. And that's one of the toughest things being a loan officer, right? Do you really have this pricing, whether it be a broker or bank? So it's not until you really come that you really find out. And one of the things is when you go compete, and it's going to happen in our industry at some point or another, and knowing that you're always in the game, you were always there. If not, we're the best or we're close. And we have so many ways to be flexible and make it work for a client.
No doubt. No doubt, definitely. I think that a lot of the points you just hit was exactly what I saw when I was doing my due diligence to switch over from the banker business to a broker. So a Loan Factory was one of the top three I was looking at. And every time I kept looking back at Loan Factory, there was some factor about Loan Factory that was refreshing that I had never seen before in the industry. Whether it be the technology, whether it be the way they're embracing AI, to me was amazing. The whole story with Tuan, the CEO, that was refreshing because I didn't see greed, right? This business could be very used car salesman greedy type people, right? I've seen that over and over again. It was a humbleness that came about him, and he really wanted to help. So I think that everything you just said is the reasons I also joined the Loan Factory team as well, and I'm proud of it. I'm excited to see where the next 3 to 5 years is going to take us. Where do you see yourself and your business in the next 5 years? Are you looking to grow a team? Are you looking to stay low key and just kind of keep everything, at a minimum, or how do you see yourself evolving?
Well, right now, I have about 12 to 13 team members on our team. So I have one or two new people coming on board. The one thing that I'm always trying to do as the market grows, as I get busier, I want to have people who can help me with the runoff. One of the things in this business, it's really hard to hand over files, but you really got to have people you trust. You're always going to have some people who are not going to be 100% in it all the time until they start getting deals. And then you're going to have people who are in it all the way through it. And there's a lot of people who are really good that can just do amazing in this business, but they don't put all the effort in. So one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help guide, grow our team. I try to do as many meetings as we can through Zoom or Google Meets. And the other thing too is tell them about marketing concepts, ideas, because it's, kind of like something I did to grow my business. I also tell them to go meet with realtors, title teams. Don't pick the easy route. Always try to put yourself out there. One of the things about this business, the more people you touch, the more people you meet, the more business you'll end up getting. Get people to think about you. Join your broker store, do something, but don't just stand there and hope the business comes to you, because it won't. Unless you're the most likable person and just you being out and about, that's enough. You know, that's what you got to do. And even if you are, to get more business, you're going to have to do all this other stuff. So I have people, I'm trying to grow more of a team. I'm also always trying to find ways to do the business smarter, better. I also try to give tips, tricks, where what banks are offering great products or are easy to work with or have a good platform. Or if I have a senior citizen, It might just be like a platform they could work with easier. So sometimes it's so diverse of what you're trying to do. And also, too, some banks have overlays and some don't have as many overlays. But overlays can be handled if you have a squeaky clean client, they have the best rate. But when you have a client that maybe slightly has some challenges, you want to find a bank that can overcome stuff that should be able to be overcome, which is stuff that really shouldn't affect the file, which sometimes in some banks it does. So the goal in the next 3 to 5 years is just keep growing the team, keep teaching, giving more wisdom and knowledge to other people. Because if I do that, I'll grow. And really, the money's going to come regardless, right? So as long as you're helping people, you know what you're doing, you're involving your skills, you never know where you're going to be in 3 to 5 years. You know what? But right now, I know I'm in a great place. Loan Factory is an awesome place. And, to take it to a further degree of what we talked about, what attracted me to this place, it wasn't just, who was running it or who owned it. Part of it was the name. I thought the name was pretty cool. The color is a little bit different with orange and black and white. So I thought the name is catchy, good tech, like you said. So that also goes part of it to help you grow and also to get you to where you need to be in the future. And also to groom your loan officers so they can grow, so they can make more money, so they can increase their number of loans and their pipeline. Get them to think about pivoting when things aren't correct right away. Like if you have a full doc loan and if it's a self-employed borrower, think about taking them to a bank statement. Think about doing a P&L. Think about doing an asset utilization if they have a lot of assets. Pay attention to your emails. Read them when someone says they have a new product. You never know. I always send out scenarios every once in a while when there's a product that I'm not sure what to use. If it's a basic, you kind of know what to do, right? But sometimes you find some great banks, some great nuggets, and things you can use for in the future that'll help you grow and also help your people grow. So you want to hire people smarter than you so that way you can do more.
Yes. The diversification opportunity that we have with different programs within Loan Factory is a huge asset for me specifically. Like, do my best. It's a little overwhelming, to be honest, because you're never going to learn every single loan program because there's so many of them in so many different varieties. But if I have an opportunity to jump on a webinar or learn about something new, I'm taking notes on a notepad and I'm saving it in my files and I'm putting on it a title that I might need it one day. Like, just last week I bumped into a DPA bank statement program. Never heard of it before. I thought it was kind of unique. So I made some notes. I didn't go into too much detail because I don't really have a client for it right now, but I know one day I will. So I just put on the title of my notes, DPA bank statement loan, and I left it there. And I know that one day, if I need it, I can reference back to it. And that's kind of how I keep a database because I know that there's so many different programs. If somebody needs a special program, we can probably find it. We really can.
100%. And, you make a great point there. You never truly know everything in the loan business. You just got to be able to find it when you don't know. So be more resourceful. And the other thing, too, we're all going to make mistakes, right? No one's perfect. So sometimes trying to find those products, trial and error. So just keep working hard. Don't stop, Also, too, try to handle what you can handle. And if you don't know, and there's a lot you don't know, get a mentor, get a team lead. This business is one of those where you really need someone to guide you for a couple years to teach you. It's really hard lesson for people to learn because you might lose 3, 4 deals, and maybe those 3, 4 deals you could have kept 2 or 3 of them, and that right there pays for everything. And really, that's one of the things that I like to implore new younger LOs getting in the business. There's plenty of business, but you have to be willing to be mentored, learn. Everybody wants to like do everything on their own right away. And I would always tell them, learn, because it's one of the key things about this business. It takes about 2 to 3 years, sometimes some people 4 or 5 years. Just depends on your learning curve, but it's not easy. It seems like it's easy. So I think we're very different because you have to be skilled in this business to do really well. You can be really personable, likable, but if you don't know what you're doing, definitely will hurt you in the short and long term.
1,000%. If I would have had somebody to lean on when I started this business, my 8 to 10 year learning curve would have been cut in half easily, and
Easily.
I would have easily paid somebody half of my commission, whatever I took. I just wanted to learn. And the fact that Loan Factory provides that option, it's completely optional, but they at least provide it. It's huge. I agree with you. I think people should take advantage of it because it's really going to shorten your learning curve, and you're going to learn a lot. That's for sure. Man, you know, as we bring this to a close, Antonio, I usually end it with give me something that you would give a newbie as far as advice. But for the last 25 minutes, I think everything you said goes underneath that category because you've dropped some major golden nuggets. You really have. At this point, I'm going to ask you one question, and I'm going to leave it at that. Being you live where you live, do you know how to surf?
Do I know how to surf? Really badly.
I thought you had to know how to surf if you lived in the Bay Area.
No, no, no. That's more Southern California, man.
Okay.
It's more Hawaii. You know what? Hey, man, there's a lot more different things. I'm more of, hey, let's go golf. Hey, let's go play cornhole. Let's do that type of thing. But what I would leave everybody with is, look, put yourself out there, keep continuing to learn, just keep doing everything that makes your life entertaining, which is your hobbies, your passions, because all that will lead to business. So the people you hang out with in those different areas, they'll bring you business. If you're good people will come to you. And I think part of it, get yourself a mentor, get yourself a team lead, get yourself, if you're new to the business, learn, 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 learn. That's the biggest thing I can impart to anybody. And be yourself. You know, a lot of people call me AC. And one of the reasons why I think is just because I don't take myself too seriously. And I think too many people take themselves too seriously in every industry. You know, everybody's so scared to make a mistake. Don't be scared to make a mistake. Be yourself. Keep pushing. Just be the best you can be. Maybe one day you're top 10, maybe one day you're not top 10. Who cares? As long as you're doing the best job you can do and you're growing, you're learning, and you're making a positive impact in homeowners and home buyers, you know, or helping people get out of financial difficulty, that's the key. That's what we're here for. We're here to help people. We just want to make a difference. And really, honestly, even no matter how small that difference is, be a change, you know? And if you could do that, that'd be great, man. And again, thank you for having me. I think this is great what you're doing. And yeah, it's great, great conversation.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Antonio. If anybody wants to reach out to you or find you, what's the best way to do so?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm always available. People can always pick up the phone. I still believe is the best way to communicate. You know, they can email me. They can send me a little chat. You know, they can send me an email at antonio@loanfactory.com, or you can just call me on my cell phones, 925-577-3776.
Yes.
I
Love it.
sound like
Love
a
it.
really bad infomercial.
Thank you so much, man. I look forward to meeting you in person. I really do. You're a ball of energy and your positivity, and you're a go giver. And I love people like that, man.
Thanks, man. Hang 10 too.
All right, guys. Well, this is the Mortgage Mindset Podcast hosted by Loan Factory. Again, thank you so much to my guest, Antonio Cordero. He's been a pleasure to talk to. We look forward to the next episode. And with that, if you found value in today's episode, please like, subscribe, share this podcast. We want to bring it to as many people as possible, and we want to grow this platform. Thank you again for your time, and we'll keep in touch. And with that, we'll call it a wrap.
Thanks again.